My ex texted, "You'll never see the kids again. I'm taking them away." I immediately contacted the authorities, provided all evidence of their unlawful action, and an Amber Alert was issued. Within hours, my child was safe and my ex was in handcuffs, trying to explain themselves to the cops. 32 female. I'm writing this now because I'm running on fumes and adrenaline, and I need to process what happened last night. My ex, Nathan, 34, and I have a 5-year-old daughter, Emma. Our breakup was messy a year ago. We have a temporary custody agreement, 70-30 in my favor, his weekends clearly defined. Last night was his scheduled drop-off, 7 p.m. He was late. By 8 p.m., calls went straight to voicemail. My stomach was in knots. Then at 8:15 p.m., the text landed, "You've pushed me too far. You'll never see Emma again. We're gone. Don't bother trying to find us." My blood went ice cold for about 3 seconds. Then, something snapped into place. No hysterics, just cold, clear action. I screenshotted the text and backed it up immediately. I knew I needed to act fast. I quickly pulled together the custody agreement from my desk, saved recent screenshots of his more erratically demanding texts to my cloud storage, grabbed Emma's birth certificate from the safe, and recent photos of both Emma and Nathan. I called 911. Told them my ex had taken my child, violated our custody order, and sent a direct threat. I gave them his name, car details, make, model, license plate. Thankfully, I'd made a point to know it. The dispatcher was incredible. An officer was at my door in under 10 minutes. I showed him the text message on my phone and offered to email him the documents I'd gathered. He saw the urgency, the proof. He didn't doubt me. He made calls, said the words parental kidnapping and Amber Alert criteria met. My heart hammered. An Amber Alert for my daughter. It was surreal. The next hour was a blur of calls repeating info. Then the Amber Alert pinged on phones. Seeing Emma's sweet face, her description, I nearly broke down, but I had to hold it together. Then the call, around 10:30 p.m. A state trooper. "Ma'am, we found the vehicle. Your daughter is safe. Your ex-partner is in custody." I just crumpled. The sobs came then. Ugly, gasping ones. They told me Nathan was stopped about 90 miles away, heading south. Emma was asleep in the back, physically unharmed. He apparently tried to argue, calling it a misunderstanding, even with an Amber Alert active. The delusion is strong with that one. Emma is with me now. She slept in my bed, and I don't think I blinked all night watching her. Nathan is facing charges. Parental kidnapping is a felony. The fallout from his side started early this morning. His sister, Heather, called me around 6 a.m., absolutely screaming, accusing me of ruining Nathan's life, saying he just snapped because he loves Emma so much. Right. Loving fathers don't traumatize their children and commit felonies. Yeah, okay, Heather. Tell that to the judge. This is just the beginning, I know. Update. It's been a couple of days since the absolute nightmare. Emma is doing okay, a bit more clingy and asking some confusing questions about why Daddy got talked to by the police in the car. But she's resilient. Lots of cuddles and her favorite pancakes. Nathan got out on bail yesterday. His parents paid it, of course. And the wave of entitlement from his family is already at tsunami levels. Heather, his sister 36, isn't just sticking to screaming phone calls. She actually showed up at my workplace yesterday. Caused a scene in the reception area, yelling about how I was vindictive and destroying their family. My manager had to escort her out. The nerve. Then came the predictable barrage of vague but pointed Facebook posts from her and their little echo chamber of friends, all about mothers who use children as weapons and how some people will do anything for attention. As if an Amber Alert for my missing child was a publicity stunt. The rage I feel is cold and deep. Nathan's mom, Joyce, 60, also called. Not to apologize for her son's horrifying actions, but to tell me I needed to be reasonable and think about Emma's needs. She actually said, "He was just under a lot of stress, dear. He didn't mean it like that." Stress is not a free pass for parental kidnapping. I've hired a lawyer. She's sharp and no nonsense. We're filing for an emergency sole custody order tomorrow and a permanent restraining order against Nathan for both me and Emma. The fact he was arrested for parental kidnapping with an active Amber Alert as evidence makes our case incredibly strong. My lawyer also drafted a very pointed cease and desist letter to Heather regarding the workplace harassment and ongoing social media slander. Apparently, Heather's response to the legal firm was to call my lawyer a hired bully. The audacity is breathtaking. Nathan himself has tried to contact me multiple times, calls from blocked numbers, emails. I've blocked everything. He then used a friend's phone. I only answered because I thought it might be Emma's school. "You need to tell them to drop the charges," he said, his voice utterly devoid of remorse. "This is a massive overreaction. You're blowing this out of proportion." "Nathan, you kidnapped our daughter. There was an Amber Alert with your face broadcast across the state. The police arrested you. This is the proportion." "Him, you're ruining my life over a simple mistake. I was just going to take her on a little impromptu trip. You're always so dramatic." "A trip you announced by saying I'd never see her again? A trip that involved fleeing in the middle of the night? Save your excuses for the authorities, Nathan." I hung up. He's not sorry he did it. He's only sorry he got caught. They genuinely believe he's the injured party here. This will be a battle, but I started it by protecting my child, and I intend to finish it. Update. Quick update because things are moving and my head is still spinning. The emergency sole custody order was granted. Massive wave of relief. Nathan is legally barred from approaching me or Emma and has zero custody or visitation rights pending the full hearing. The restraining order is also officially in place. These are small steps, but they feel like huge victories right now. Naturally, Nathan and his cheerleading squad didn't take this lying down. The entitlement just found new, uglier avenues. Heather launched a GoFundMe campaign for Nathan's legal defense against a malicious parental alienation campaign. I wish I were joking. She's painting him as a devoted father being victimized by his unstable ex, conveniently omitting the felony kidnapping part. The page had a ridiculous goal of $10,000 to fight for justice. Some of their friends actually donated. It's mind-boggling. My lawyer is already looking into options regarding that little stunt. Then Nathan, presumably on his lawyer's advice, filed a counterpetition. His claim? That I am an unfit mother. He alleged instability, neglect. This, while IWFH and my entire life is structured around providing stability for Emma, especially after he detonated our family. He even managed to get some distant cousin I've met maybe twice to provide a statement saying I seemed a bit stressed at a family barbecue 3 years ago. Seriously, that's the best they have? His lawyer is also trying to argue that his threatening text message was sent in a moment of extreme emotional distress and taken out of context. The context of him then abducting our child and driving off? Right? Then came the Child Protective Services call. My heart plummeted. Nathan or Heather had made an anonymous complaint, alleging neglect, the sheer maliciousness. Thankfully, the caseworker who visited was professional and understanding. I walked her through my home, showed her Emma's happy artwork, her well-stocked room, the food in our pantry. I calmly explained the ongoing situation, providing her with the police report number from the kidnapping and the Amber Alert details. She could see it for what it was, a baseless retaliatory claim. She assured me the case would be closed as unfounded. But the stress, the violation of them weaponizing CPS like that, it was sickening. For a dark moment, that cold fear returned. What if their manipulations actually worked? Then I took a breath. I have truth. I have evidence. They have audacity and lies. The full custody hearing is scheduled for early December. Nathan's criminal arraignment for the parental kidnapping is next week. I'm documenting everything. Every unhinged email, every slanderous social media comment from Heather, every suspicious hang-up call. My lawyer says it's all building our case. It's exhausting. Some days I just want to hide. But then I look at Emma, drawing a picture of the two of us under a huge rainbow, and I know exactly why I'm fighting. She deserves peace. She deserves safety. And Nathan? He deserves every single consequence that's heading his way. He built this mess. He can lie in it. Update. It's over. Well, the biggest legal battles are anyway. The custody hearing was last week. Nathan and his lawyer tried their best to spin his narrative. The panicked mistake by a devoted dad. They even brought up that ridiculous statement from the distant cousin about me being agitated. They desperately tried to imply I was alienating Emma from him, as if kidnapping her wasn't the ultimate act of alienation on his part. My lawyer was a force of nature. She methodically presented the timeline, the chilling text message, The official Amber Alert record, the police report, Nathan's history of flouting the custody schedule, and the report of the unfounded CPS claim. She even had printouts of Heather's delightful social media campaign and the GoFundMe, which the judge looked at with visible disdain. Nathan had to testify. Under oath, he admitted sending the text, admitted taking Emma without my consent, admitted to driving off. He lamely tried to claim he was planning to call me eventually. The judge cut him a look. After the Amber Alert was issued, Mr. Miller, the silence was telling. The cross-examination was surgical. My lawyer dismantled his every excuse. Heather was in the gallery, practically vibrating with indignation. His mom, Joyce, even tried to stage whisper, "He's a good boy," before a sharp glance from the bailiff silenced her. The ruling, sole legal and physical custody of Emma. For me, permanently. Nathan gets supervised visitation, twice a month, for 2 hours each session at a designated secure visitation center. He has to bear the full cost, which is around $75 per hour, himself. And even that is contingent upon him completing a comprehensive parental anger management course and a psychological evaluation. The judge didn't mince words. She called his actions reprehensible, profoundly selfish, and stated they demonstrated an alarming lack of judgment and respect for the rule of law and the well-being of his child. Any further missteps, she warned, would have far more severe repercussions. Nathan looked stunned, like he genuinely couldn't believe this was happening to him. Heather stormed out of the courtroom, muttering about gross injustice. Good riddance. As for the criminal charges, Nathan pleaded guilty to a lesser felony charge, unlawful retention of a child, to avoid a full trial. He received 3 years of probation, a substantial fine, mandatory counseling, and the judge reinforced the no-contact order with me, permitting communication only through a court-monitored parenting app, and only for logistical matters related to Emma if visitation ever actually commences. Any violation of his probation means immediate jail time. His arrest photo? Public record. The Amber Alert with his name and face? A permanent digital stain. That should make his future endeavors interesting. Oh, and Heather's GoFundMe? It was reported by numerous people. Thank you to anyone who might have flagged it. And was eventually taken down by the platform for violating their terms of service regarding funding for individuals involved in illegal activities and misrepresentation. Her subsequent complaints about her freedom of speech being violated were, shall we say, music to my ears. So yes, justice. It's not always swift and the system isn't perfect, but it worked. It worked because I refused to be a hysterical victim, gathered my facts, and acted decisively. Emma is doing remarkably well. She started art therapy and sometimes says, "Daddy was very naughty and made bad choices." It's an understatement, but it shows she's processing. We're both healing. I feel lighter, like a crushing weight has been lifted. The road ahead is still long, but the major threats are neutralized. He can't use Emma as a pawn anymore. He can't terrorize us. The aggressive entitlement from his camp has significantly dwindled. Funny how the stark reality of a judge's ruling and the tangible threat of jail can do that. Joyce still sends the occasional passive-aggressive holiday card addressed only to Emma. They go straight into recycling. I'm looking forward to a genuinely peaceful Christmas with my daughter, building new, happy memories. Nathan thought he could just take her and bulldoze his way through any consequences. He severely underestimated me, and he severely underestimated the law. He didn't just lose custody. He lost the chance to be a real father to Emma through his own destructive actions. And that, ultimately, is the most profound consequence of all. Thanks for letting me share this journey. It truly helped to write it all out. Onwards.